This lemon tart recipe really is sensational. It'll really impress your guests. It's a great way to use excess lemons and it's really, really easy. All we need for the filling is some sugar, some coconut cream, some soy milk, corn flour, lemon juice, lemon zest, a bit of turmeric for colour so it's really golden, and the secret ingredient is agar-agar, which is a gelatin made from seaweed. Much better option in terms of how gelatin's made. And then for the pastry, simply some butter, flour and icing sugar and a touch of milk to bind it together. So let's go. So to make the pastry, all we need to do is simply put into a bowl some plain flour, the icing sugar and some cold vegan butter, and then using your fingertips just start to work that together into a kind of breadcrumb consistency. So it's just going to turn into a little bit of a crumble. So just rubbing them together, our fingers that is, and pretty quickly it'll turn to the right consistency. You could do this in a food processor, which is absolutely fine, and really the process is the same. These three ingredients first, give it a whiz, and then we're going to add the milk. Okay, so just a couple of minutes later, we've got this lovely crumb, and that is just what we want. Now what we need to do is add a touch of cold plant-based milk, so that could be soy, almond, whatever you like, just a little bit at a time, and again just use your fingers to start to combine that. Don't add it all at once because you may end up with a mix that's too wet, so just a little splash and that might be enough. So pretty soon you should have a beautiful little ball like this that's super smooth and lovely to touch. And now what we need to do is roll it out. So just make a little space on your bench and a touch of flour, just a little bit down. Grab a rolling pin and all we need to do is start stretching it out into a round. Look at this perfect, beautiful pastry. I mean, you saw how simple that was to make. I mean, you can buy pastry, and I definitely recommend buying puff, but when you're making a short crust like this, the pleasure involved in making it yourself is so worthwhile. I mean, it's just meditation at its best, in my opinion. It's so fun and a lovely, lovely process. So when you've got it sort of roughly in a round, you're going to need a loose bottom tart tin like this one, and you can check that it's going to be roughly the right size. This one is very non-stick, so I don't need to do anything with this, but for the sake of showing you in case you weren't 100% sure, just grab a little bit of that vegan butter and just push it around your tin. Better safe than sorry, I guess. So just take your pastry, I like to fold it like that, just to make it a little bit easier, and then into the tray it goes, and unfold. Pastry is delicate, so we do obviously need to be quite careful with it as we tuck it in to the sides, and we can fix it up as we go. So just push it into the edges there, using your fingers to tuck it into the base, and then push off this excess. And use that to fill in the gaps. Okay, so that's how it's gotten to, and now we're going to use a knife just to neaten things up. Just a little scrape around the outside from the inside out. That motion is really the key here. Okay, and that's ready to go. But I just wanted to mention, if you've got some leftover pastry like this, this is the basis of shortbread cookies. So what you could do with this now is make it into little balls, and then you could push into that some chopped chips or some nuts or anything you like, and put it on a baking tray like that, and you can have yourself some little extra cookies from your leftover pastry. So back to the tart, all we need to do now is line it with some baking paper. So we're going to blind bake it. So if you haven't done that before, all you need is a piece of baking paper pushed into the sides there, and some baking beads. So You can also use rice or beans or anything you like, and they are going to help weigh that paper down and make sure that the pastry cooks evenly without burning. So into the oven now for about 25 minutes, and then we'll take it out and fill it with this beautiful lemon custard. So here is our crust out of the oven, and the reason I can tell it's ready is because the rim is just that little bit golden brown, and that's the sign that I look for to tell that the rest is going to be ready as well. Take the leaves out. And there is there is the perfect crust. So to make the filling for this lovely lemon tart, we need to add these few ingredients simply into the saucepan, give them the whisk and pop them on the stove. So that is one of the reasons this recipe is so easy, because there's not really many steps. So let's just put it all in together, simply as that. The coconut cream, the sugar, caster, the lemon zest, plenty of it, lemon juice, touch of turmeric for colour, and we're going to mix some plant-based milk with corn flour to create a paste. So once you're satisfied that there's no lumps in this corn flour mix, you can add that as well. And then our secret ingredient, the agar-agar powder, that's seaweed gelatin. So just a tiny bit. This is powerful stuff. We don't want to turn it to rubber, so just a little bit in there, and that's going to help set it. Simply whisk these ingredients together and pop it on the stove. So here I am on the stove. I've got this lovely custard, and it's going to go thick very quickly, so do not walk away. So stay on it. This is a bigger flame than I'd like, but I'd like you to be able to see what I'm doing, so I'm working with the bigger flame. But just keep it on low. Keep stirring, and very soon we're going to have the perfect lemon custard. So as you can see now, we've got a beautiful thick custard, and not that you need to do a test because you can see how thick it is, but if you did want to check, you could just run your finger on the back of the spoon and see it's holding there. But I can see well that's a beautiful curd now, so that's ready to go into the tart filling. So here we have this lush lemon custard. It's going to go straight in. And we've got to work quite quickly here because that agar will start to set pretty much as soon as it starts cooling down. Okay, quick even off. Beautiful. Okay, and let it cool. 'Cause baby, you're